Welcome to MarcusG.tv. I'm Chef Marcus Giuliano. I'm a chef on a mission. Today's mission is organics, produce, potatoes, healthy eating. I recently picked up an article here, and where'd it go? Health risks of eating potatoes, and it's from Living Maxwell. I really like Living Maxwell. You can go to livingmaxwell.com and check out his website. He's also on Facebook, where I follow him, and he posts a lot of things, sort of like I do. He's out there. He's a food advocate, just teaching people how to eat real food and better food, which is what my mission is: real food, better food. So he posted a thing: the health risks of eating conventional potatoes. And he talks about all the pesticides, known pesticides, 37 different pesticides. 7 are known carcinogens, 12 are suspected hormone disruptors, 9 are neurotoxins, and 6 are developmental or reproductive toxins. According to the USDA Pesticide Data Program, 37 different pesticides have been found on conventional potatoes. It means the residues of the potatoes have that on them. The potatoes have these on them. And now the one thing that he doesn't say in here, which is, he doesn't talk about all types of potatoes, because all types of potatoes are different. The potato pictured is the russet Burbank, the baking potato, the Idaho potato, the potato that you make French fries out of, potato salad out of, potato chips out of especially. Those are the most common potatoes out there. Those are the ones that flood the market, and those are the hardest ones to grow, thus the more pesticides on them. In fact, when I was in Colorado on a farm tour of potatoes, we met farmers who didn't eat their own potatoes because they explained this to me. They said, Marcus, the stuff we spray on the potatoes, and it's to get those brown spots out of the potatoes, those hollow brown spots inside the potatoes, they don't like those. So they spray a neurological damaging chemical on the potatoes. And they said to me, Marcus, point blank, if we lose irrigation in the field, we refuse to go in the field. We have to cross off the fields by law, skull and crossbows, fields are roped off. We have to cross the fields off by law to warn people not to go in the fields. So we would not go in there to fix the irrigation. We'd rather lose our crop than to go in the field after we spray this. So we don't eat our own potatoes. So I said, well, what do you do for potatoes? And they said, well, we eat our neighbors. He does organic. And the neighbor was, several miles down the road. He wasn't right next door to them. They go, we eat one of our neighbor's potatoes. He grows organic potatoes. So at one of my tours, I went to the neighbor, and I was talking to him about his potatoes. And he grows a ton of different types of potatoes in the San Luis Valley in Colorado. Beautiful area, by the way. The Sand Dunes National Monument is there. I took my kids last year for vacation a year ago. A year ago today, we were there climbing Sand Dunes National Monument in that area. And we were visiting the quinoa farm down there. So, explain to me, he goes, Marcus, I go, why don't you spray your potatoes? How come you don't have to spray your potatoes? She goes, because we don't grow russet Burbank, Dakota, those Idaho potatoes. We don't grow those potatoes. Those are the ones that need all the care, all of the chemicals, because it's a hybridized potato. It's not a potato that's in its natural form. Anytime you take a plant, like a blueberry, a wild blueberry versus a cultivated blueberry, wild chocolate versus cultivated chocolate, which most chocolate is hybridized. It's cultivated, it's hybridized. You weaken the plant. So it needs more care. It needs more pesticides. It needs more fungicides. It needs more chemicals on it to help it protect itself. Because the natural version knows how to do it. The unhybridized, the pure strain knows what to do. But once you hybridize something for flavor, for taste, flavor and taste, for appearance, for shelf life, whatever you're doing to it. Now, Idaho potato has been hybridized and just hybridized, so it's weakened the plant. So it needs all that. And funny enough, the article actually mentions here a farmer that said, well, we don't eat the stuff that we grow because we know we're not supposed to. But this is the type of potato that you're getting at McDonald's, at Burger King, all the fast food, or all the restaurants use an Idaho potato for a French fry, because the Yukon potatoes, the red potatoes, the fingerling potatoes, all those other potatoes don't fry up in the fryer as well as the russet Burbank. The moisture content is too much. You need that high starch content, the drier content to actually do it, to make a French fry or a potato chip. So that's the problem with that. So and he also explains in the story here, Living Maxwell, that potatoes are treated with fungicides during the growing season. Before harvesting, they get sprayed with herbicides that kill up fibrous vines, and then after being dug up, they're sprayed again to prevent sprouting. Now, as a chef, as a young chef coming up through the ranks, I remember potatoes that we get that would all of a sudden start sprouting. And the chef would always be like, no, we need to get potatoes sprayed with something called sprout nip, which makes sure the potatoes don't sprout, right? Because they can store them longer. So just the ideas that chefs are brought up on is crazy and ludicrous, you know, to think that, well, we don't want our food alive, you know, God forbid our food is alive, you know, let's spray something on it to kill it and not think about what we're doing to our customers, to our guests. So it's a really great article, and it's just saying organic potatoes are the answer, and I believe, yes, organic potatoes are, if you're sticking to that russet Burbank, that French fry potato, that bacon potato, you must buy organic potatoes there. If you're going off of that into all the heirloom varietals, you know, it doesn't, like I said, doesn't require all of those chemicals. A lot of them are much more natural, but it's not saying they're not doing it. It's just saying that you don't need. Now, potatoes that we buy at the restaurant, you buy a Yukon Gold, and it actually says, you know, certified residue free, and it's actually tested for residues, so which is great, which means they can't spray stuff on them afterwards, you know, because the residue is there, it's there, you know, and our potatoes still sprout. So even our sweet potatoes that we buy are organic. Twice the price, but the flavor profile is just so different. So organic sweet potatoes, a jewel or a garnet. I like this Hana's, the white sweet potatoes. Those are my favorite. Those are a little starchier, but super sweet. So that's your guide for buying potatoes. Look for the heirloom varietals. Look for those French fingerlings. Look for all those neat types of potatoes. Keep in mind, you're not going to be able to make a French fry or potato chips out of them, but you're also going to stay away from the residues. I'm Chef Marcus Giuliano. Thanks for watching this video. If you like my videos, please hit like, subscribe to my channel, and definitely pass it on.